we have some friends from the school, and I really appreciate them being here. They are a few days remote from exams. It's actually an exam next week, so I really appreciate.
Good luck. Good luck.
Moving on up into the future. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here as well.
And I appreciate this group because some of you were with us in my own journey, and part of my help I owe to my friends here. So thank you very much. So I wanted to give a little introduction. It's actually special for me because for many years I've been trying to build a logo for my clinic, to represent what I do. So at the time I thought about one of those sphinxes, the bird that came out of the ashes. What is it called?
Phoenix? A phoenix? Is that what you're saying?
What? Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Right. Because I thought one time I thought I was going to die and came back. Anyway, then I thought about a hummingbird, so I drew, collected hummingbirds, and then I said, I'm from India. Maybe a lotus will be great. Lotus. It's a sacred flower in the Buddhist faith. It never gets contaminated with the muck that is growing out of, so it's a special one. Then more recently, in fact, I think it was in June, I happened to go to Alaska, and one of the things I had signed up was a totem pole village, and I really didn't care for it because the other the tours were booked. I booked for this, and but I knew that I always find something that speaks to me. So as we were going through the different totem poles, the guide explained, he was explaining each totem pole. It actually has a history of that community there. And in each village or in the surrounding villages, if there is some medical person, they'll have a special totem pole for the medical person. That is the doctor's office notice there, announcement. And it's the little thing that is right there, an animal, supposed to be very wise. So if the totem pole is there with the sign, people flock to that village to get care. So when I came back, I said, I'm going to make my own totem pole. And hi, welcome.
Thank you. Running a little late, sorry.
It's all right. So, then I was brainstorming ideas on a totem pole, but everything has the perfect time. And I was working with a student, Lauren Holland. I think some of you know Lauren Holland. Okay, she's either the third or the fourth year. And we were brainstorming at Ivory class, and all of a sudden it clicked. First step. And so if you take a look at your tags, well, please take it out and look. First step. What does it mean, first step? There is a Chinese proverb that says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. After the first step, it's no longer 1,000 miles. Right? And it's a beautiful thought. So very often we try to hit a home run and then we fail and we don't do it again. So the idea is to just take a small step and then keep taking that step until you can form a habit and then form a character. It has worked for me, and so I said I got to have first step in my quiz. Then you notice that there is a footprint, right? The footprint. I understand that each footprint is unique. It's very much like come on in. Very much like the fingerprints. And somebody calculated that in order to have an identical person with identical prints, you need to have at least 7 trillion people living at the same time.
Trillion.
So you can tell that's very unique. So what does it mean? You know, very often you go to the doctor's office and they tell you got to eat right. The reason why your diabetes is not going well is you're not eating right. You know, we kind of blame the person, but very often it is unique. The person, what the person is carrying is very unique to that person. Nobody else, not even a twin from the family shares that. So I wanted to put that and say, okay, our care is going to be in small increments, but tailored to each person, which means the person needs to know what is special to them, because nobody else knows, right? Nobody else knows. So the trouble say, oh, I have, as the song goes. So what we want to do in our clinic is to give you some generic things, but recognize that you alone can find the right step that fits you specifically. And then at the very bottom you have something else. It says that you may prosper in all things and be in health. This is a verse from the Bible, from 3rd John. Prosper in all things. What all things? So essentially, we're just not interested in your physical health, but we are interested in your social health, in your financial health, in your spiritual health. So we want to cater to the whole person. We are not isolating the disease from the person. We want to recognize you as a person, as an individual. So this is going to be our logo from now on. So we found the logo that represents us. So we are inaugurating this for the first time, by the way. So this is very special. Thank you. Yeah. So in my visiting card, this is going to. So we're going to start this inauguration.
Thank you for pointing out that every person is the individual journey on whatever their challenges are, because every person is unique, and a lot of times medicine, social medicine will put everybody in a group.
That's right.
And I really appreciate you acknowledging that and expressing that to us, because it gives me a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You know, for the medical industry, and I think that.
Thank you. Appreciate your kind words. So, the people just walked in. That's my wife and my grandson.
Hello, good morning.
So I'm really happy that in this journey in the Blue Zone Wellness Village, you know, I live in Loma Linda, and Loma Linda and Dr. Koo there, Vasilisa Koo, also lives in Loma Linda. It's one of the 5 spots where in the world you have the most number of people who live over 100. So 90, 100, 110. So we want to encourage you to look into the lifestyle that is common in this population and gather something. So throughout today and in the next 4 sessions, it's a total of 8 hours, we want you to kind of keep your eyes open and look for things that you can really, Dr. Vasilito was telling me this morning, there is an acronym. It's, what are the acronyms?
OAES.
O stands for?
Obvious.
Okay, what's common sense?
Attractive.
Attractive, A.
Easy.
Easy to do.
Satisfying.
Satisfying. Okay. So we want you to keep your eyes open as these steps are being given to see what is applicable to you and enjoyable to you and easy for you to do and satisfying to do. Otherwise, you won't do it. So, I'm going to turn the time over now to Niyal, who is the president of the Family Practice Interest Group from the California University of Science and Medicine. And next to him is Alisa and Daisy, Kendall, and Jay. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, welcome, Karan. Oh, by the way, the restrooms are there in the back in the building. It says maternity ward, but you can go in if you need to. We have some infusion water in the back, and we also have some nuts. If you get low on sugar, you have something there. It's all healthy drink and healthy nourishment. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. We're really excited to speak to all of you. As Dr. Moses kind of just introduced us, we are all part of the Family Medicine Interest Group, the board. So Niall is the president, I'm the vice president, Daisy's our treasurer, and Alyssa is the secretary. And so basically, Dr. Moses reached out to us and saw that we were interested in patient education and talking about, how to live healthier lives. So we are here today to present on the blue zones as he had introduced. So as he mentioned, Loma Linda is a blue zone, and as we watched the video in Italy, those people who live till 100, we wanted to speak about what are the pillars in their lives that help them live that long, that help them live happy and healthy lives. So that's what we're going to be presenting on today. Oh, and this is the other. Okay, so this is our overview. The 4 pillars in the pyramid that we're going to show are belong, purpose, eat, and move. So each of us is going to speak a little bit on these 4 pillars. Belong, just finding your support system and livelihood. Purpose, discovering a purpose in life. Eat, tips on eating a more balanced diet. And move, finding ways to exercise even with a busy schedule. So as Dr. Moses mentioned, often we hear these things from our healthcare professionals, but we want to dive deeper into how to make that a reality for each and every person. So. And then this is the blue zone pyramid that we are referring to. So Loma Linda, the 4 pillars. And yeah, so that's what we're talking about today.
Hey everyone, so I'm going to go ahead and begin talking about the belong section. I know that the AC is on, so I just want to ask if you guys can hear me well or if I should talk louder. Okay, perfect. So I wanted to actually talk a lot about the sense of belonging. I know it's kind of like an abstract concept, but it's really important for us to find like our sense of community and support, since life can get really busy and really stressful. So what is belonging exactly? Belonging is going to be a feeling of security and support, especially when there's a sense of like acceptance, inclusion, and identity. And I kind of want to delve a little bit deeper into this idea of identity. So identity, I found that there's going to be kind of 5 main components detailed on the slide. There's going to be like career, family, skills, culture, and social. So with career, with the jobs that you do, you're going to meet certain individuals that perhaps share similar values to you. That can help you find a sense of community in there. You can also do things with them like after work as well. I also know that with some individuals, family and social communities are a big part of their identity too, since a lot of times we find ourselves hanging around people that we share similar values to or have something in common with. So that can really strengthen our sense of identity. And then on the right side, I put the 3 aspects of belonging that I found most meaningful. The sense of belonging relates to community, support, and in relationships. And kind of drew the arrows pointing towards each other because there's like this connection between belonging and identity, because having a strong sense of identity can stem from belonging, since that kind of reaffirms your values and you feel supported. And at the same time, a sense of belonging can strengthen your sense of identity. And right here I put kind of like a flow map of different aspects of belonging as well. So this can come to form, as I mentioned, with like friends, work, family, or community. And then in 2 main ideas, it's basically a place where you feel that you're treated equally and that you feel welcomed in as well. And now, how do we find the sense of belonging? I know that some of us may have a little bit struggles finding sense of belonging or still trying to understand this process. So the first thing I want to mention was the importance of being authentic. I know that, at least for me personally, I find the strongest sense of belonging when I can be myself, like kind of express the things that I want to say and just like have fun with it. And so I think that's really important to just, be comfortable, just go out there, put yourself out there, and not to be too afraid of like what people might think of you. And secondly, I thought it's important to talk about making this effort, and that can come in the form of like going to club events where you share like similar hobbies. Like I know there can be like dance classes or things like that. Or, just reaching out to your coworker or family member like, oh, do you have some time that we can meet out for a little, have a little dinner, kind of like communicate and build a connection over time. And then lastly, I want to talk about the importance of sharing, since it's really important to just, be comfortable sharing your ideas. And in this way, you can help to begin the conversation with other people and start to build those meaningful connections beyond like a surface level. And the last thing I want to talk about is community resources. So when I was researching about the city of Banning, I saw there are actually some summer programs that are kind of happening right now. And there's a variety. It can include things like drama, like karate, or like a dance, like Zumba. They're hosted weekly and they're like on different days. But I thought that was a good reference that you guys could look at to see if there's something you're interested in, you want to learn something new, or you can go there and explore your hobbies further. And also, I saw that there was a senior center, and they actually serve meals from Monday to Friday at 11:30 a.m. And similar to the summer programs, they also hold a variety of like classes and activities, and like special events and fitness programs as well. So these are just kind of like an overview of the sense of belonging. I know that this topic can be pretty abstract and a little bit complicated, but it's definitely doable. And as long as you put yourself out there and just be authentic, be yourself, you can definitely find a sense of belonging as well. And before we move on to the next section, I know that this was a lot of me talking and a lot of information, but I kind of want to like slow things down and have a discussion to kind of talk about the sense of belonging. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to think about this question, but the first question that I had was, going back to this slide actually, like which of these components do you identify the most with? Like where do you find your sense of belonging? And I'll just give you guys a couple of seconds to think about that. Would anyone be comfortable sharing? I can actually share first if that makes things easier. So belonging isn't like a one-step process. I actually find belonging in a lot of these aspects. So for me personally, friends and family are probably my strongest. I'm very close with my family. Like I share a lot of things with my family, and I feel like they're the biggest support system as I'm going through medical school. And interestingly enough, none of my friends are like in medicine, but I grew up with them, so I feel like they got to see me kind of like grow as a person and change over time in life. So that's also like a huge support system for me as well. Would anyone like to share about what brings them a sense of belonging? Church?
Yeah.
Do you go like every week as well?
Lately I haven't been able to because my legs.
Oh, I'm sorry
I
to hear
watch
that.
online, so I still,
Yeah, religion is definitely a huge way to be able to like, connect with
Family,
people.
friends.
Family, friends as well? All of them? Yeah, that's great. Anyone else?
Yeah, this term belonging you are discussing has something to do with the community, with the environment.
Yeah.
You see what? We may have a good intention, we may have to do something for ourselves, but the environment is very strong factor
Yeah.
in our being able to do things.
Yeah, exactly.
And belonging is part of that environment.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is the thing that makes you able to do things because you have people that are on the same wavelength with you, with the same activities. That's why we are very fortunate that we have a group like this.
Yeah.
Because on our own, we can do it. But
Yeah,
when you are with the group, you will be influenced positively or negatively.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why it's very important that we have to choose company.
Mhm.
We have to see to it that the environment we are with will improve us, will be positive, will be to where we want to be. So
Yeah.
so my comment is that I'm very glad that you are discussing these things, because this is very important in our being able to do the activities that we want to do.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. That was so insightful. I definitely agree. I think the environment
Yeah,
is
environment
really
is
important.
very important.
Like having access to different resources or the people that you can go around.
Yeah,
since-
that is environment.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else before I pass it on to our next presenter? Dr. Musa.
Yeah, I think even at home, how many families eat together, sit down and eat together? It's always, especially in a two people who are employed at different times, they work at different times, they say rushing in and out. The children in school, going to school, so families don't even sit together and eat. I think one of the things that stood out with me as I looked at the Blue Zone thing is they spend time together, and a lot of it is around the meal. And that's something that can be done here. Even in a busy life, at least once a day, or maybe once every other day. So find the time and just sit down and talk around. The meal seems to kind of open up God's. Then the other thing I found that all the people often are by themselves, and sometimes they don't drive, or they may live in residential units, and often feel, even though there's a crowd, they feel alone.
Yeah.
And I am by nature introvert. I don't like to talk to whoever sits next to me. But there are people all around us, and I found out that if I just open up and say hi, how are the dogs doing, or something like that,
Yeah.
it opens up, and I find a friend. And so I think very often it falls on us to kind of open up a little bit to find that companionship.
Yeah, thanks for saying all that. I'm really glad that you brought up the concept of time, because I think it's very common that we feel very busy and we don't have time to do things, but like you said, it's just it's important to set aside like intentional time, just like 30 minutes or something, to just catch up and kind of build that connection. It's like really important for the sense of belonging. Thank you. I'm so glad we can talk about this. Yeah, go ahead.
Believe it or not, I live with my grandchildren who are almost your age.
Oh.
There are three of them, but anyway, I live with them since, starting with elementary, middle school, high school. The eldest is second year, university.
Oh, wow.
The two of them, the first one, the second, they went to, in high school, they had this Heart Academy. You know about Heart Academy? Oh,
No, not for sure.
it's very nice here. Because they're introduced to medical terms, so I get to converse with them, and they have some interest in healthcare, maybe going to what you're doing.
Yeah, maybe that'll be here next time.
Well, I don't want to kind of force them, so there's conversation always about, they ask me questions, and keeps me alert. And what's nice about you and them is they can always use their cell phones right now.
Good point.
So they can check on my answers if my answers are because I'm antiquated. And but anyways, it keeps me alert and mentally healthy. But anyways, thank you.
That's lovely.
Any other last closing thoughts?
Thank you, Daisy. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all. Thank you so much for coming out. The next aspect we want to speak about is purpose. Purpose in general, that's a very difficult question to answer. What is your purpose in life, right? So it's a very short question, but by no means an easy one to answer, right? And the thing about purpose is a lot of times it can take you a really, really long time to find out what my actual purpose is. You kind of go through your day-to-day, and then you reach a point, and then you finally realize, what is my purpose? But there's a very, very important reason to find out what your purpose is, to kind of hone in on what that particular purpose is for getting up every day, for going through your regular routine. So let's speak about that a bit, okay? So, what is purpose? This is kind of just general, what is purpose? Like I said before, what gets you up in the day, what motivates you. And the thing about purpose is it changes a lot in life, right? Your purpose when you were younger might have been different. When you're younger, my purpose, I have to go to school, I want to, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to get a job, things like that. But when you get older, other elements start to come in that kind of changes up your purpose. So your purpose may not be the same. And I don't like it being a singular word, just purpose. Because a lot of people, we have multiple purposes in life, right? Why do we do the things we do? We do it for family, we do it for this, we do it for that. There's all these different reasons behind our purpose, right? But it's a very difficult thing to kind of hone in on what are my purposes. And all of these blue zones that we've spoken about, they all have some element of purpose being a very, very fundamental factor. In Okinawa, Ikigai is actually the concept of having a purpose. In Costa Rica, Plan de Vida, these all have these aspects of what is my purpose. Because when you hone in on that purpose, it kind of helps you, especially later in life. Because studies actually show people who kind of identify what their purpose is, statistically, they will live longer. Because when you do go through those difficult times, I'm sure you guys have all heard of the term mind over matter, right? And the whole concept of mind over matter is this whole thing of your mental state, your emotional state, psychological state, that is really going to affect your physical state. A big thing that we all hear about, stress, that's going to affect your heart function, right? So if you kind of are deflated, you don't really have a sense of purpose, you're just kind of going through your day-to-day because you have to, it's going to affect your health. Maybe not in noticeable ways initially, but in the long run, it's really, really going to make a big impact. So kind of finding what drives me, what wakes me up in the morning. Because life is difficult, right? We all face those times. It's really, really tough to get through those times. It can be something with work, family, friends. You know, every single day might be a struggle. But we all have to have that kind of thing that kind of gets us through those times, right? When it seems like there's no way forward, we all need that kind of, that purpose. What is going to drive me forward? What's going to motivate me? When it's really tough to get up in the morning, you know you're gonna have a really hard day. What's gonna help me? What am I going towards that's gonna help me? And for a lot of people, it's family. You know, we don't necessarily do the things we want to do because we want to do them. We do it for our family. We do it for the people we care about. Religion, that can be a very, very big motivator for a lot of people. The way we act, the way we treat other people, the things that we do because of our religion. It could be a lot of different things, just goals we have, professional development. I want to get a raise at work. We have to put in a lot of work for that, right? But we have that purpose behind all this work that we're putting in. So me personally, when I try to because I try to implement this in my own life, let me actually identify my purpose. What am I here for? What drives me in the morning? And it was a very simple answer at first. I want to go to medical school, make my parents proud. As they said, make a lot of money, you know, get on my own 2 feet. Right, that's what my parents want me to do, right? But is that really what's driving me to go to medical school because my parents want me to? No, it's not just that. And truthfully, it's things like this. Getting to speak to people, getting to help people. Because we can attest to this. Medical school is a very, very difficult thing. So we all had to find our purpose. Why did we want to go to medical school? Why do we want to go through all these difficult times? And you can apply that to anything in life. You go through really, really tough, that wasn't part of the presentation. I apologize for the software update. Okay, so I kind of want to do a little activity with you all. You guys all have notebooks in front of you with some papers and pens. If you could just take a minute, maybe 2 minutes, just what is your purpose? Just the first thing that pops into your head. It doesn't have to be anything profound. Just what gets you up in the morning, what makes you excited, what makes you happy. Just take a little bit of time to write that down. This will be totally for you. You don't have to share this if you're not comfortable. Just kind of put pen to paper, what gives me purpose? Doesn't have to be anything coherent, doesn't have to be anything profound. Just first thing that comes to mind, what is my purpose in life? So I'll give you a few minutes to do that, please. Your purpose oftentimes extends outside of you. Like I said, things for your family, right? It's not just I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for other people. I'm sure you have to deal with a lot of difficult students, you know, from time to time, so kind of remembering you're here to help them is...
Very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so kind of having that purpose to, that goes beyond you. I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for a bigger goal than just me. Does anyone else feel comfortable sharing an aspect of their purpose? Yes, please.
I must take my hat off with you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I never thought that in a place like this we'll be discussing a very deep and profound subject. You know, when you talk of purpose, you are actually looking into the deeper meaning of life. And more often than not, we go through life without really understanding our purpose. If you find your purpose, you have made a very big leap in your life. Because that is the very reason why we are here for. We have ultimate purpose, we have immediate purpose, And sometimes, if we are not careful, we mistook purpose as the means. We go into a means and we thought it is our purpose. You study medicine. Why you want to become a doctor? What's your purpose? A lot of people go into something, do something, but their purpose is, they don't understand what their purpose is. Well, I'm sorry, I have to talk a little about myself. I wanted to become a doctor. I studied medicine. But what was my purpose? Because I thought I will be respected, in the community, I'll get rich, and all these things. You know, the Lord did not make me successful. Why? Because that should not be my purpose. Your purpose should be something else. You know? And that purpose is the one that will motivate you to achieve what you have. Look, everybody knows Steve Jobs. You know, he is one of the richest person in America. When he was sick, and he was confined in the hospital, he was about to die, what did he say? He said, well, what am I? I have gained what is there to be gained. I have achieved what is there to be achieved. I have accomplished what everybody wants to accomplish, but that is nothing. That is not the purpose of life. You see, he realized that in the later part. He said, I am so rich, I can have a hospital that I will be the only patient. I can have all the doctors that can take care of me, but they cannot do anything about life. They cannot stop death. So all these things that we value, when death comes to you face to face, it will drop off, and you will go into what really life means. That is why I'm very impressed with what you are talking about. The purpose in life is it will guide you where you want to be. And it's very seldom that you can find people discussing this kind of subject. And I'm glad that you people have done this early, because you will not be wasting your time in doing petty things, in doing things that is not what you really want to be. But just be careful that your means is not purpose. Means is what will bring you to where you want to be. It's not the purpose. You have immediate and you have ultimate. And it is the spiritual thing in life that is really the ultimate. All of these things are just a means. So thank you so much for bringing this subject matter. This is the subject that is really closest to my heart, because this is what I have been searching all my life. What is the meaning and purpose of life?
Yes, very beautifully put. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much for sharing that. Exactly, it's a very, very profound question, but it's one that we need to confront. Because especially in the later stages of your life, you know, you may not be able to do certain things. You may not be working anymore. You may not be kind of engaging in that rat race that is life. So what is going to kind of keep you motivated to get up? What's going to kind of keep you going? Family, religion, it could be anything. So if I could leave you with a little bit of homework, just take some time every now and then, just kind of think like, what is my purpose in life? What does motivate me? And it is a very deep thing to kind of think about, but it's very, very important. And as all these aspects in these Blue Zone triangles, they are kind of working in concert with each other. So how does my purpose affect all these different aspects of this triangle? So thank you all. We're actually gonna offer you all a little break right now for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll return to speak about the rest of the aspects of the Blue Zone triangle. So please feel free to use the restroom or grab some snacks or just relax for a bit. Thank you so much for coming though. Thank you.
Okay, so the next part of the pyramid that we are going to be talking about is titled Eat, and this is a less deep topic than the previous two, but it's so extremely important. As Dr. Moses mentioned, this is about first steps, and a first step that you can take in improving upon the quality of your life is definitely having to do with your eating, because it's something that you can kind of change up every day and make small changes. So I just wanted to start by talking about what is a balanced plate. So I know when it comes to eating, it's really hard to actually think about what you're eating and what portion size and what is making up your food. So learning about what is supposed to be on your plate could be really helpful in changing your diet and how you eat daily. So to have a balanced meal, half of your plate is actually supposed to be fruits and vegetables, which seems like a lot because I feel like sometimes when we're eating, we just have like a little pile of vegetables. It's really supposed to be half of your plate that is vegetables and fruit. And then with the remaining half of that plate, you're gonna go ahead and split that into two. So 1/4 of your plate should be protein, like tofu, chicken, steak, beans, chickpeas, fish, any kind of protein. And then the last 1/4 of your plate should actually be starchy carbohydrates. So anything that is a carb, like pasta, rice, bread. I think that's a, what is it? Quinoa? Oh yeah, quinoa. There's some granola in that picture. So when you're sitting down to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or even a snack, you should be thinking about what your plate should look like. So again, just remember half of your plate should be colorful with fruits and vegetables, 1/4 protein, and then 1/4 carbs. And then another way to have a very balanced meal or snack is just to make sure that you're drinking water as well. So I know it's really easy to go ahead and grab a soda or a juice, but just switching that out and having water instead is way better for your body. And you also could remember, like, you could have both. It's always okay to treat yourself to a little drink, but having water is so important for your body. So another quick tip about eating a balanced plate is using a 9-inch plate or a regular sized plate is important because it makes sure that you are eating a portion size that isn't too large. So the next step that you can take to improving upon your nutrition in your daily life is cutting back on processed foods, which I know is very difficult because a lot of the time we're on the go, you really are just needing a snack or you're very hungry, so it's very easy to go through a drive-through or to eat a snack that may not be as nutritious. So what are processed foods? Processed foods include packaged snacks, sugary drinks, fast food, etc. And what is likely to be in processed food? There's likely to be increased salt, sugar, and fat. So I have an image there of some processed foods versus whole foods. So processed foods is what we were talking about: chips, soda, there's chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese, things that you heat up in the microwave a lot of the times is processed. And then a picture of whole foods: bananas, apples, broccoli, vegetables. So another first step tip is lessening how much processed food you eat. And by doing this, you can, like I said previously, you could drink water or tea instead of soda. You could eat oatmeal instead of sugary cereal. And you can work on preparing food ahead of time, which I know is difficult because a lot of us have very busy schedules. But before you run out the door, if you could just put like some carrots in a little Ziploc bag, or grab some granola or something small like that that is more nutritious rather than grabbing like a bag of chips to go. And then it's important to always read the labels of your food to see what the ingredients are, and this will help you to make more nutritious decisions. So what are the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables? So like we said, half of your plate at every meal should be fruits or vegetables, and they're very important in your life because they're full of fiber and help you to have better digestion. So if you're eating a lot of processed foods and carbs, your digestion might not be as good. You may have more stomach aches, maybe less frequent trips to the restroom, which can cause pain. So eating vegetables helps you to be more active in that way. And vegetables also are helpful in preventing conditions of the heart as well as diabetes. It helps control what's going into your body and makes it less likely that you may develop some conditions. Also, increasing your consumption of vegetables is useful in lowering your cholesterol, which is also increased when you eat processed foods. So another first step tip is to add more vegetables to your diet is to add a side of fruit to your breakfast. So if you're having, maybe say you're having oatmeal or you're having a yogurt, just adding a small side of fruit could be very beneficial in your diet. Can help your gut digestion, can help your mood, can help your brain, and it'll just make your body feel better. Another one would be adding vegetables to your smoothies. So if you're making a smoothie, maybe you're putting a little bit of juice, yogurt, fruit, spinach, exactly. So I was gonna say you'll never know the vegetables are in there, but if you put spinach, you do know it's in there only because it changes color.
Right.
But otherwise you can't taste it, and it's really an easy way to get some more vegetables by adding some spinach into your smoothies. And it tastes really, really good. Another really helpful tip in eating a nutritious diet is to make sure that you're enjoying eating. And there are a few tips I have for you guys to how to enjoy your meals and your snacks. So the first one would be slow down and enjoy eating. So if you're sitting there and you're on your phone and you're just throwing your food into your mouth, and you're not really thinking about what you're doing, you're probably not going to enjoy that meal as much. But if you take that second to do some of the things that Niall and Daisy were talking about, where you just take some time for yourself, sit down, relax, eat slowly, and enjoy your food, you'll definitely be more comfortable and you'll likely be happier after you eat. And this also helps your body to know when it has had enough food. If you're eating very fast, your body can't really understand when you're going to be full, and it can cause you to overeat. But if you're eating slow, your body will understand better how much food you need to be eating. And another step would be to eat with others when you can. So before this, we were talking about how spending time with other people really can be beneficial in your life. So Dr. Moses was talking about spending time eating with your family. So if you just maybe you can't do it every day, but maybe you could do it once a week, maybe, where you sit down with your entire family and you enjoy a meal together and you're able to converse and learn about their week. That'll definitely help you to enjoy eating. And again, meals are healthier and more enjoyable when they are shared. It's a lot more fun to eat with a friend or your family member than to eat alone. So another first step tip that I have to enjoy eating is to sit down at a table as opposed to laying on the couch or sitting at the couch in front of the TV. Again, don't eat in front of a screen. So if you just take that time for yourself as opposed to watching YouTube or a show. And then pausing halfway through eating a meal and asking, am I still hungry? This will help you evaluate whether you need to keep eating, and if you are full at that moment, stopping the consumption of food is going to make you feel better after. Another step would be inviting a neighbor or a friend over to eat. So if you don't have your family close to you, or maybe everybody's busy, it would be really awesome to have a meal with your neighbor, a great way to connect. And also, you could do something really fun like planning a simple potluck or a healthy snack meetup. If you want to hang out, again, with your neighbors, it would be really fun to be like, hey, everybody, bring a dish and we can all eat together. That's a really good way to connect with your community and enjoy your eating. So again, your first steps for healthy eating, these are just small changes that you can make in your daily consumption of food that will benefit you in many ways in your life. They'll help you think better, they'll help you feel better. So that would be adding a fruit or veggie to one meal a day, drinking water instead of soda, eating slowly, and stop when you're about 80% full. Try a plant-based meal once a week, and share a meal or snack with someone. Those are just some very easy, well, I say easy, but changing your diet is actually hard, and everyone recognizes that it's very hard. So doing small changes like this will be very beneficial in your life, and as you start to make these small changes, you'll start to feel better and can implement more changes, and not just small ones. You may be able to change maybe how many meals you're eating a day. So maybe you're eating a few too many times a day, but once you start making these changes, you'll be more full, so you won't have to eat as much, and you'll realize you start to feel better. So these are just a few ways that you can improve upon your eating habits. So I just thought it would be cool to do a little activity where maybe you think about a meal that you're eating regularly, or maybe the meal that you're going to eat today, and you can write it down or you can just think about it. But it would be awesome to think about that meal and maybe something that you can either take away from it or something that you can add to it to make it better. So for example, when I go home today for lunch, maybe I want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if I just eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's not the most nutritious meal. It might make me full for a little while, maybe not. But instead of just eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I could eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a handful of carrots and maybe a granola bar and have water. So that might be a change that I could make. And so I was wondering if you guys had any thoughts about maybe something you can add or something you can take away from a meal that you eat. And I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about it if anyone wants to share.
I eat cucumbers with every meal.
You eat cucumbers with every meal?
The
Yeah.
little baby ones and peel them and slice them up and little bitty things. And
That's
spoon.
a great way to
I always put that in first before.
yeah, that's a great way to implement
Number one.
vegetables. And when you're doing something like that, you could even go a step further and maybe if you've ever tried hummus and cucumbers, that's a really good combination and that would get you more protein because of what's in the hummus and it would probably make you a little bit more full. So that's just a way that you could implement something else into your already healthy habit of eating cucumbers.
Yeah, you get your protein and it's yummy.
Yeah, hummus and cucumbers is very good. Does anyone else have anything that they want to add?
How about rice? Is rice a healthy choice for the carbohydrates?
Yes, rice is very healthy for you as long as you're eating it in moderation and at the right portion. So I know that there's a rule for when you're eating rice about the scoop of rice that you should have that's healthy. I'm not exactly sure what the measurement is, but there are a lot of people who, when they're measuring their rice, they use a specific cup or a
I never
specific
thought about that.
yeah, a specific measuring cup, so that they know that they are having the correct portion of rice.
Is it the particular rice that's best for you? Does it matter?
I think all rices have different nutritional values. So some people eat like brown rice for certain reasons. Some people eat white rice for certain reasons. There's also flavored rices. I think a lot of people choose what rice they eat based on what makes them feel good. I know a lot of people who, when they eat white rice, they may feel overly bloated or uncomfortable after, so they may choose an alternative. There are a lot of different nutritional benefits to each kinds of rice.
Can I bring something up? I just recently started doing all this diet change. I lost 23 pounds.
Wow, amazing!
And I had a really big issue with the acid reflux, really, really bad. Even over-the-counter medications weren't working for me, so I had to figure out something. Years past, I went totally vegan. That was a wonderful adventure. But I like my meat.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this diet change, making these choices that you're speaking of, I've been trying my best to follow that. The acid reflux is gone.
Really?
I'm medication free, and I feel like I have my life back.
That's amazing.
Because I have my freedom back.
I'm very happy for you.
I wanted to mention, so anybody has those issues, your diet makes all the difference in the world in every aspect of your life. It really does.
Yeah, your diet not only affects like your mood, how you feel, how your brain works, how tired you are, how much you can move. It's such a big part of your life that you might not think about when you're just like, oh, I need a snack really fast. Like,
Yeah, it gives you back your youth.
Mhm.
It really does.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's why I had to ask about the rice.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that is probably maybe a personal preference for some people, but there is, if you look it up, the correct way to eat rice. There is a portion that you should be eating. I know a lot of times, even I eat this, like they have the packages of rice that you put in the microwave and heat up that have like a certain amount of rice in them, and I think it's like 1 serving of rice. So you could also do something like that as opposed to making rice in a pot yourself.
Which does it matter which alternative you choose, the microwave, ready to go rice, or the do it yourself out of a bag?
I think all rices are. Dr. Moses?
Well, I'm not addressing that particular question. I leave it to you. But the polished rice, which is called white rice, has lost all its brand. It is a brand that has the fiber in it and also the B vitamins. A lot of B vitamins, zinc, copper, many of the minerals and vitamins are in the brand. So you lose all of it. The red rice is essentially, it's husked but not really polished.
Mhm.
So people like to eat the polished rice because it's easier to chew. The texture is a little different, as opposed to with the bran, it's a little harder to chew. The texture is different, but there is a whole lot of.
So unpolished rice has more benefits to it.
That's right. Yeah.
Is it cook, you cook it the same way though, right?
Yeah, you may have to cook it a little longer because
Okay.
because of this. The other thing is Uncle Ben's and Pritut. They cook it with the husk in it, and so many other nutrition values go into the grain itself, and after that they polish. So you get some of the benefits with Uncle Ben's.
And that's the rice that you put in the microwave, that what you're talking about?
I'm not quite sure where the
Uncle Ben.
yeah. So-
Yeah, they do have some microwavable ones, but it sounds like what Dr. Moses was saying is that there's a lot of different ways that they make the rice, and that determines how much nutrients are in it. So maybe it's something that you could look up,
Do some research
brand,
on.
like which
Okay.
brand cooks or creates the rice certain ways, so that you know which is the most beneficial for your diet. I didn't know that. Thank you, Dr. Moses. I need to
Me either.
research which rice I eat. Now I know.
It's similarly with the wheat also, the bread that they make, the white bread, they remove the bran and all of these things. And they say it's enriched, they put a few things back, but overall it's minus in terms of, so whole grain.
So how about multi-grain bread or wheat bread? I heard they put more preservatives in that. Is that an issue?
Yeah, many stores do put preservatives. I think maybe Gilbert and Dr. Kuhl might join in. But there is a bakery in Riverside called they make Ezekiel bread. They don't put any preservatives. It's all whole grain, multi-grain. When you buy it, you might be able to keep it for a week in the fridge. Otherwise, it's spoiled. So without preservatives, the shelf life is much shorter.
I was interested in your plate. Like half of it is vegetables and fruits, quarter protein, another quarter starch. I was going to ask about where's the oil or fat? Well, you answered that actually. In processed food. So if you avoid processed food or going to a Chinese restaurant, eating out, there's a lot of fats and oil and sugar and salt. So actually one of those things that you can avoid is avoid eating out.
Yeah, if you eat at home as opposed to eating out, you know what you're putting in your food and what you're coating the pan with. So you definitely know.
So in other words, limit your eating out, one of those habits.
Mhm.
And you talked about this package.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, you did not mention about probiotics. What does probiotics has a place in our diet?
Yeah. In this series, I think we're going to continue to dive into different, deeper topics for these. So that's a really great point. We could go over different nutritional supplements like that, like prebiotics, probiotics, to make sure that you're getting a correct amount of those. That would be a great topic for us to cover.
Yeah, like yogurt and
Yogurt. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, if you also look up online, when they have pictures of these plates also, they also have subsections of like how much dairy you should be eating and things like that. So there's definitely categories for that. Thank you. Does anyone else have any comments? Yes, Dr. Moses?
Yeah, one of the things that I think I can add, I should add in my diet is I often skip fruits. And the fridge is full of fruits. Apples, oranges, berries, strawberries, blueberries. But it's just lazy, I have to get up and wash the
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to add a few servings of fruit.
Yeah, something that I do to make it easier for me to eat fruit is when I get fruit at the grocery store and I bring it home, I take 10 minutes for myself and I wash all the fruit ahead of time, and I package it into Tupperwares or different strainers, and I keep it in the fridge very accessibly, or so that I can access it. And every time I walk by and I'm like, oh, I really need a snack, I just reach my hand into the fridge and eat some of the berries that I have already washed. So it's definitely, if you prepare it ahead of time, it's more likely that you'll eat it. But yeah, it's very important to eat fruits.
I see the grapes and cherries.
Oh yeah.
And I do a mushroom miso soup every day.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That has the probiotic in it. They told me it soothes my stomach, but I've only found one place to buy it. So I buy like 8 a week.
Yeah. Where do you buy that?
Right over here by it's a Japanese.
Oh,
called
awesome.
Ariana,
Mhm.
a big bag. You can get a large for like $6.
Oh.
But I asked her, what is it? Is something just soothes me?
Mhm.
She said there's probiotics in there.
Yeah. I think also at Trader Joe's, they also have a container of miso soup.
Ooh, I'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we make it from scratch.
Oh, you do?
Oh God, yeah.
That's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Yeah, that is very good. Soup is a very good way to soothe your stomach.
All I know is when I call in the order, it takes them 35 minutes to make it. Before I can get it. So
Yeah.
they're definitely making it.
They're making it for you.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
wonderful.
Nice.
Where's that at that you're picking that up at again?
Dariana.
Oh, I never heard of it. Jerry on that,
Right.
but big five.
They just, yeah, they just remodeled too.
Oh,
But, I just get to go.
Jerry on
I'll be getting bored.
Thank you so much for listening to that section, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to Kendall. Thank you.
All right, our last section of the day. We're gonna be doing move. So for this section, I'd like to start. If you feel comfortable, could everyone stand? We want to do a little bit movement because we're talking about it. If not, you can definitely stay seated. We're just gonna do a little bit of stretching if that's okay. So I'll just wait a little bit. I'm happy we walked around a little bit earlier. That was good. But as we wait, we can also just do some of these arm stretches. Just bring your arm across your body, stretch, and then we can switch the other side. And then this one I like to call the SpongeBob. You look like a square. So you bring one arm up, hold your other elbow, and pull it back. See how it kind of looks like a square if you're looking at shadow outside. And then we can switch and just loosen your arms up as you do it. And then maybe put your hands on your hips and we can just do a little bit of a twist if you feel comfortable.
That feels good.
Yeah, you can take a seat now. I just wanted to do a little bit of movement because sometimes stretching is something that is very simple and easy, but we don't take time to do. So everyone go ahead and take your seats. Or stay standing for my whole presentation if you'd like, if you feel up to it. I don't need to force you guys to sit down. So yeah, movement. So why is movement important? It is good for your mental health. It's obviously good for your physical health. And I like to think of it as a break sometimes from my work and other responsibilities. It's a really good way to clear your head and to, when you're working out or doing any physical activity, sometimes it's hard to focus on other things, and that's a good thing because if we're stressed during the day, you don't always want to be thinking about that through the whole day. It's good to break your day up and do some movement to distract you sometimes too. And then also a big thing, it can help you sleep better. If you're sitting in a chair all day and you're not moving a lot, when you go to lay down, it's not always as much of a relief as it would be if you've been up all day moving. So I just have this little image that's really nice. It's good for brain health, like I said, and it's good for your mental health, makes you feel better, but it also boosts focus, sharpens mood. We of course know about how it can benefit your heart health. And then weight management's a great thing. You could put in all the changes that Alyssa was saying about adding things to your diet, but it's really important to at least get a little bit of movement in so that your body feels capable of losing that weight. And then it can help with bone and muscle strength as you're even doing little things, weight-bearing exercises. If you can walk around, that's really good for your bones to be able to maintain that. And then balance and coordination is one of the most important things as you get older, because it's really hard to keep your balance sometimes, and when you're coordinated, it helps you walk. That reduces falls, that makes you live a more comfortable life. As we watched the video when everyone was first coming in earlier, they were showing the people in Italy who are extremely active and coordinated even though they're over 100 years old.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's amazing because how many people over 80 do you know that don't use a cane? Like it's pretty common in America to use a cane. So to be able to have good balance and coordination is something that gives you some independence in your life that is really important to maintain. Moving more can help with disease prevention. It can lower risk for many illnesses. Like I mentioned, better sleep, mood, mental health, extremely important. If someone experiences anxiety or a lot of stress, huge. It's very helpful for me when I get stressed. And then it increases energy, a big one, just like Alyssa was mentioning with eating better. Like you want to maintain as much energy as you can. So by moving more, it might seem counterintuitive. Like you might feel tired out from working out or even just walking a lot. But overall, it makes you feel more alert, more energized, and that's something we're looking for. So types of workouts, I just want to cover what that can mean for people. So everyone hears the phrase like cardio, do cardio. What does that really mean? It can mean running, biking, dancing, Zumba, hiking. Those are high intensity things that you don't always have to do. It could be walking. Everything can be tapered up and down. You could be someone who has danced their whole life, and just a little bit of dancing, whether it's side-to-side movement, anything like this, that counts as movement, and that counts as exercise. So you can always apply it to yourself. It doesn't have to be like you're running the most or hiking the most or even biking everywhere you go. It can be in small doses, but any movement's better than no movement. Weight training, this can look very differently too. If you never weight trained growing up, that could be intimidating, especially like joining a gym, lifting weights, things like that. But something people might not have thought of traditionally is resistance bands. You can get them from a lot of sporting goods stores, probably on Amazon too. And it's this right here, where you can literally do things, sit in your chair in front of the TV and just pull the resistance band, and that just helps with grip strength, let alone helping your other muscles as well. And something very easy that falls into that category of weight training, where you can implement something that's less of a big deal. Sometimes joining a gym, going to an exercise class, that can be a big commitment, but this is something you can totally implement into your life. Body weight exercises, that's a really good one. If you feel comfortable, you can always hold on to something. Just doing squats, small squats. Like I'm not even going that low right now. This doesn't really count as a squat. But like, you get what I'm saying? Where you can do anything, like little body weight exercises. And then weight machines at the gym is a good one. If you want to do something, you can bring it down to the lowest weight on the machine, and there's little things, there's usually diagrams at the gym if you do want to join a gym, YMCA, anything like that. Group workouts is a great thing. We talked a lot today about maintaining family and friends in your life. That's something that, strengthens you all the way through. So if you do any workouts with friends, that can hold you accountable and hold your friends accountable, hold your family accountable, and it just makes it easier overall. Workout classes, like I mentioned, is something that is very fun if you're into that. If not, it can be a little bit intimidating. But there's things like yoga, Pilates, CrossFit, kickboxing. These are some very high intensity ones, but I know Daisy was mentioning earlier, you can just try new things like Zumba, karate in the area, things like that. It's very, it doesn't have to be as intense as it might seem. When you hear words like running, biking, CrossFit, that can seem a little intimidating, but you can always scale things down. And like I said, a little bit is better than nothing. So anything that gets you interested. And then run clubs or walking clubs or hiking clubs is also something that's very exciting. So yeah, I just have these two diagrams to show what it can actually mean to add movement into your busy life. So we just gave an overview of what exercise is in general and what options there are in general. But what about little things that you can add to your busy life that might not feel like a big deal? Maybe you don't feel like you're in a place to go join this big new exercise scheme. Maybe you just want to do little things to help yourself be stronger for daily living, and that's just as good. So taking the stairs if you can instead of an elevator, that's a really easy one to do. If you feel like you can take the stairs and you're not going to be at risk for falling or anything like that, that is a really good thing. Obviously it depends on how many stairs you have to take. If it's a one-story building that you have to go up, I think that's something really obtainable to do, and that can be a really good way to implement into your busy life. That doesn't feel like you're adding something to your schedule. Stretching at your desk. Right now I had to stand up at any time. You can just do a little twist in your chair, and you can do any of these. You can stretch your feet. You can like bend and stretch your legs at your desk. It's little things that might not always feel like exercise or anything like that, but can help with coordination, flexibility, things that matter as you get older. Walking during phone calls is a big one. You don't have to be sitting on your couch every time you take a phone call. You can be walking around. That can also be like meeting friends for a walk instead of meeting friends to go get food. It's great to go get food, as we described. That's a great alternative. But walking during like meetings, phone calls, meeting up with friends is a really good way to kind of kill two birds with one stone, do both things at once, and it makes it easier to implement into your life. And then using a standing desk if you feel like you're at your computer a lot or you have things to do in the house. I think it's a good way to just stand. Even sometimes I'll stand at like a table and like think things through instead of sitting down, because I feel like it makes me feel better to get up and not just be staying seated and sedentary all day. So things like that. And again, always be safe with it. We don't want anyone to fall by accident, especially while you're getting into more movement that you might not have done in the past. You don't want to be at risk for a fall, so always have your hand on something if it's going to make you feel better. There's no shame in having a cane when you're doing things like this. And I also have more accessible ways to move, because again, we want to be able to incorporate this and have it be realistic. Like I just described some high intensity things on the last slide. Again, it doesn't have to always be like that. For friends and family, who might be in a wheelchair or feel more comfortable sitting doing things, wheelchair yoga. That we see like a lot of things you can do like online or even classes. There's way to be have accessible and adaptable ways to do things. So you can always do things like that in a chair with your arms as well. That's still something that's very impactful. Like I mentioned, the resistance band, doing that seated, very easy. Again, just doing things like this. You can look up online. I'm sure there's diagrams for that as well. Something very easy to implement. Stretching at a desk, and then also dancing in wheelchairs. Little fun things that can seem silly, but it's something that can make you happy. So like turn some music on that you really like, and just moving a little bit to the music, just a little bit, can make it more fun, and something that doesn't feel like you're adding to your schedule or your routine, doesn't feel like a big commitment to take on. It's more just something that not only like brings you joy, but is something that's benefiting your health. So yeah, that's basically it, I think. Yes, that's our last slide. So does anyone want to share ways that they feel like they could implement movement in their lives, or things that they've done in the past, or things that they're interested in, or things they've heard of from friends and family? Swimming! That's a great...
To get full and do the exercise.
Yeah!
It's
Water
like
aerobics is a good one.
Yeah.
Water aerobics is a really good one. Non-impact training, because if you have any knee pain or anything like that, it's really hard. Yeah, it is really hard to get into something like that, even standing, things like that. But when you're in a pool, it takes a lot of the pressure off,
That's what I do.
and it's great. Yeah, that's a really good example. A really good example. You can, even if you wanted to do something more, like you could stand in a pool and use resistance bands still.
Mm-hmm.
That's still something else too, if you want to be standing. So that's a really good example. Swimming, good non-impact. Again, when I say non-impact, it's literally the load on your joints. So things like biking, when you're at a like sitting on a bike, a stationary bike even, that's a good way to get moving, where your joints aren't feeling all that pressure, and it can be a lot easier. Anyone else?
Recently, a patient of mine came and asked for the BMB thing to park in the.
The handicap. Yeah.
So I told them I'm not going to give it to you.
Walk.
They had the paper and everything, and I said, park as far away as you can and walk.
We were joking about that this morning because we parked so far away by accident, and it's actually great because it keeps you out in the sun, and it's a good walk to your destination, and if you feel comfortable and safe doing so, it's very helpful.
I've
So-
noticed a lot of people that are really extremely overweight are getting those handicap placards, and I'm thinking they're the ones that need to walk the most. You know, it's not that they're, and they do maybe get a little bit out of breath, but it's not that they have COPD.
Mhm.
It's just that they're so overweight.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, again, if you have a condition where you might need that, then yes, totally,
Yeah.
that's totally fair. But if it's something where you just don't feel like walking as much,
They can work
it's-
on it.
yeah, it's
I
something
just
to
like,
work on.
I just pray for them, like, let's celebrate yourself. I want you to get something in your heart to celebrate yourself and make you want to live a good
want to
life.
keep moving, yeah. But yeah, that's a very good example at the grocery store. Park far away and make that walk if you feel comfortable. A cart is a really good way to be stabilized as you're walking, as long as it's, you know, a stable cart. Just like walking like this it's like a walker, so it's helpful. Anyone else?
I know those two sitting there, Gilbert and Dr.
Mhm.
Koo. They get a lot of exercise doing gardening.
Yeah,
Gardening.
that's a great example too.
So this morning when we picked Dr. Koo, he was.
That's a great example as well, and it's a calming thing too. Exercise, I think it's a misconception that exercise and movement has to be doing something like that you might not always want to do, something that's strenuous, where little things like that make you happy can 100% incorporate exercise and movement. So, and coordination. Gardening is a really good one for coordination and
Dancing.
flexibility as well.
Dancing, turn on some music and just move.
Exactly. It's enjoyable.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah, even sitting on the couch just dancing to music too. It can be accessible. Alyssa.
Something that I do is if I'm watching TV or a show, I hula hoop while I watch the show.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a very mindless activity, but I think it's really good for your abdominal muscles. It's really good for your legs. It's really good to stand up, and you're just moving the whole time instead of laying on the couch and watching a show. You just hula hoop. It's fun.
I'm gonna go get a hula hoop.
Yeah, you should.
You should.
Oh, that's a great idea.
My mom has this one from Amazon. I think it's from Amazon. It's like a chain, and it has like a weighted thing, or like a string with a weight on it. And so when you hula hoop, it's not a whole hula hoop like this. It's attached to your waist and
That
has
sounds
a
dangerous.
no, it's like plastic, and it has a weight, and you hula hoop, and it's a weight around it. And I don't know exactly the facts, but it says like if you hula hoop like this for 30 minutes, it's like walking 2 miles, or it's something like
What
that.
do they call it? Do you know?
Ah,
The moving does.
yeah, it's a weighted hula hoop or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you should look. It's fun.
Find out from mom. Talk to mom. would you?
I
will. Tell her inquiry minds what to know.
I will let her know.
She's setting a trend.
There is another form of exercise which our friend Bailey has discussed one time, which I think we were able to mention. That is isometric exercise.
Yeah.
This is an exercise that you don't seem to be moving,
Mhm.
but you do moving.
Yeah, when you're just contracting your muscles
Yeah,
in place.
even
Yeah.
even if you are in an airplane,
Uh-huh.
you're sitting down. There is such a, even right now I could do isometric exercise.
That's a great example. Like even
And then
your,
when you
your
push
quad
your-
muscles. Yeah.
This, you like this, even you are sitting.
Yeah.
All of these are isometric exercise. Billy discussed this. What is that?
About doing squats and stuff like wall squats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wall
Kind of
sits.
stuff. Yeah.
Even
So,
like when
so
you
I just want to add that as a form of exercise, so that even if you are listening to lectures, you can do exercise.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're sitting in place, contracting the muscles in your
Yeah.
legs is something small that you can do. I know, especially when I had knee surgery, I had to do that a lot because it's just stimulating your muscles
Yeah.
just so that it can be primed to be able to do more in the future as well. So if you feel like you're someone who, isn't ready to be doing necessarily squats or walking as much even, that's a good way to just get your muscles to, be stimulated. And something very easy while you're sitting on the couch watching TV, maybe like a few, like for 30 seconds, contract your quad muscles as hard as you can, and then relax, and then do it again
Yeah,
2 minutes later.
he was saying that that's a heart healthy choice as well as far as exercise. You don't have to do anything strenuous.
Yeah,
And that's actually benefits the heart, that exercise.
yeah, 100%.
And I was really glad to hear that.
Actually, that can be life-saving if you're in a plane.
Yeah.
Long
Airplane.
journeys.
Airplane.
Oh, yes.
People have, I know personally somebody who, actually a doctor who flew from England to Bombay, and then even before they reached home, they died after pulmonary embolism.
Wow.
So some of these exercises are really helpful. Keep the circulation going.
Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to share?
Wow, that was really great information.
So are you back to soccer, playing soccer?
Well, yeah, I'm totally healed now. I can do it all now, I hope.
She just ran a marathon.
I did.
Which one did you do?
The Orange County one.
Okay.
Wow.
Was that in April?
It was May 4th. I'm healed.
Yeah, 'cause my problem is both knees are bone and bone. My SI joint's out, and I have a herniated disc in my back. So between all those, I go, what can I do?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it all this more painful
Right.
than it already is. 'Cause I'm in
100%.
chronic pain all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why the water one works for me. And I do have the
Resistance
band
bands.
that I can sit and do that.
That's great. Resistance bands and the
try.
water.
Something.
Yeah, water aerobics is also like fun because that's kind of like a workout class a lot of time, right? So you can
Yes.
have friends in your class and
Yeah,
meet instructors. So that's great.
trying to prevent pain, not make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Non-impact is very important.
Yeah.
It's very important. Yeah. Well, if anyone has any closing thoughts. Well, thank you so much for letting us present to you today.
Thank you.
You guys are great. Thank you so much for what you brought to the table for us today.
Thank you.
We'll turn it over to Dr. Moses for some closing remarks.
Yeah.
But
All
thank you
right.
for
Thank you.
listening.
You didn't come through, so maybe next time.
You know, I really appreciate these people. And you know, they kept using their energy by standing, they didn't sit down. So, you know, I was happy to hear that you did a marathon. Any of the others do?
I don't think I have anything.
I'm doing a half marathon in a couple months.
Okay.
But not a full one.
Good.
Half marathon?
So, you know, the thought kept going through my mind to bring this up. I have done about 40 marathons.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But after COVID, I couldn't even walk. And climbing up, I used to get real out after that. But this is in end of 2020. And but I can now I feel myself little less short of breath and a little more steady on my knees. I have fallen actually climbing down the steps. So I think if you know I'm alive in 2028, I'll turn 80. I want to walk a full marathon. That is my goal. I've given myself three years.
Very good.
So I've chosen the Rock and Roll in San Diego because they allow you to start an hour early for walkers. So if any of you want to join me,
What's it called? Rock and roll?
Rock and Roll in San Diego.
Is that in December? Or when is that?
It's in I think January, February, sometime early. So
Maybe I'll do.
Yeah.
it's a walker-friendly marathon. So I'm doing it. I'm planning to do it. So I hope 3 weeks ago I walked a half marathon with my nephew in Cincinnati. So it took us a long time. It took us 4.5 hours to finish. So anyway, thank you. So this, you know, great work. I really appreciate it. So I thought Neil might have some idea on what we want to do next time.
Yes, so our plan for these upcoming sessions is to kind of delve bit deeper into these topics. So, you know, for example, with EAT, we did speak about the general plate, but kind of speaking about what carbohydrates are better than others, what carbohydrates should I avoid if I have certain conditions. Speaking about movement, kind of speaking about, for my particular case, what kind of cardiovascular movements would be best suited for me. Kind of delving in more so to finding a sense of belonging with certain communities, possibly sharing some sort of resources that you can find that sense of belonging. And then with purpose, just kind of trying to find, hey, am I one step closer to finding that purpose? And, you know, a big part of this initiative by Dr. Moses is that first step, you know, taking that first step. And it is little steps, but once you do reach that end point, you'll have seen, oh, how much progress have I made? How much better am I in, you know, mind, body, and soul than I was at the start? So we really want to take those small steps with you, you know, little by little, and then hopefully by the end of it, we'll have come a very, very far way. And we're excited to go on this journey with you and to grow with all of you along the way. So we're excited for our next session, which I believe is next month.
27th, June 27th is
June
the fourth.
27th.
Yes, June 27th, same place, same time.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll be able to delve deeper into some of these topics and kind of get to learn more about ourselves by addressing, you know, we are addressing some deeper topics, but also finding what best suits us, what is going to make us the healthiest that we can be, regardless of age, regardless of where we're from. How can we be our best selves? So we're looking forward to all these sessions with you all, and if you have any questions, we are going to be here, and we will be happy to help you in any way we can. So thank you all for coming. It was an absolute pleasure to speak to you all.
Thank you.